Alright, hello, welcome back to another video on this channel. I hope all of you all are doing well. Something that I went through when I was deciding on where to go, where not to go to study abroad was whether I could trust my education agent or not, whether I should engage an education agent at all. I didn't know how they work, I didn't know what the fees was, and for a really long time I was in an uncertain bubble on how much I will have to spend on an education agent, because I looked online, there were no fees mentioned. I looked online, there were no services mentioned. It was very one-on-one. So this video is around how education agents work, how much are they supposed to charge you, are they supposed to charge you at all, what are the services that they provide, why engaging an education agent is good for your study abroad journey. So watch this video till the end because there's a lot of value to be added. So let's go back to the start of my study abroad journey. I'll reflect through that journey and keep telling you on how my education agent helped me, and not just my education agent, on how an education agent can help you in your study abroad journey, and why it can be really important, cost effective, and a win-win situation for both parties to engage an education agent. So back to 2021 when COVID was there. My boards were just about to wrap up, and this is CBSE class 12 boards that I'm referring to. They were supposed to wrap up, but again we were in limbo. Our last board exam got cancelled, so we were just waiting on whether we have to appear for that board exam or whether it'll just be a cumulative of the other 4 subjects. That is when I started to explore, I can go abroad to study for my undergraduation and also obviously pursue cricket. If you do not know anything about me, my name is Anshul. I've been in Australia for about 3 to 4 years, and I primarily came here to play cricket. But now, obviously, having my eggs in different basket, I'm working in marketing and comms for the South Australian government. Cutting back to where I was, so yeah, I started exploring different countries. As everybody, I had 4 countries on my mind: UK, USA, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. Sorry, 5th one as well. So USA was out of the picture because cricket was non-existent at that time. Now, yes, it is picking up, but yeah, the conditions are different. Second, UK, the difference in between rupees and pounds was a lot. It was getting really expensive, and you still, about 3 to 4 years ago as well, you weren't hearing really positive things about UK as well. Then the decision came down to 3: Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Canada, because of the extreme weather and the potential to play professional cricket, I couldn't really make that decision because got to hear from a lot of people, from my cousins who are in Canada, that most of the year it's snowing and it's winter, so you won't be able to get a lot of playing opportunities any which way. Then it came down to Australia or New Zealand. Now, New Zealand, I have family in New Zealand, so I was a little okay with the fact of going to New Zealand because obviously moving to new countries, it's good to have family support, it's good to have people that can guide you and that can tell you how that particular country works. But the chatter that I got around New Zealand was that, okay, if cricket doesn't work out, other industries in New Zealand aren't really thriving. So, if you're someone who likes to have their eggs in different baskets, New Zealand might not be the country that you want to go to. That is how I landed on Australia. But going back to the topic of the video, I engaged an education agent when I was confused in between Australia and New Zealand. So as a matter of fact, I had probably applied to 4 to 5 different universities in New Zealand, got an acceptance to about 3 to 4 of them. Just one, I think I got a rejection. Those are pretty good universities, and as you are, I was watching YouTube videos to see what is the reality. And that is what I primarily was doing before even talking to my family in New Zealand. And at that time, I wouldn't name the education agency, but they were really helpful. They had given me one person who kept calling me, who kept following up with me. But again, I was very uncertain on, how do these things work? When is she going to charge me for all of these calls, for all of the consultations? She invited me to a webinar where there were alumni from Australia and New Zealand speaking about their experience. and all of it was genuinely free, and I was very confused. But then I made the decision to go to Australia. Sort of didn't engage her anymore, told her that I'm not going to Australia, I'm not going to New Zealand anymore. And also another connection came up in my mom's network, that she knew an education agent, so we decided to go to them. Not because the first education agency was lacking, it's just familiarity, connections, and just the communication channel becomes more smoother. So that is when we decided to go to the agent that initially helped me to come to Australia. 2 points there. How does an education agent really work? So engaging an education agent right at the start is good, but just a piece of advice: an education agent will not do anything and everything for you. You need to help them, you need to support them, or you need to give them enough information that they can make the right decision for you. And exactly that point, they do not have to make the right decision for you. Even if they come back to you with 5, 6, 7 different options of universities of different cities, you need to do your research, and that is where creators like me come into place. We come into place of giving you a reality check on how the current conditions are in a particular city, in a particular country, in a particular occupation, and that is how you sort of liaise with your education agent and have a backbone of yourself. Because I've seen a lot of people who come through different education agents and just do what the education agent has told them. Yes, to a certain extent that is needed, because they know the ground reality. They have probably sent tens, hundreds of students to that country, to that city, to that university, and they know more. But the thing is that the money factor on how they actually earn is the thing that drives how your experience will be like. And that is what I'm going to tell you on how do education agents actually earn money. A lot of, probably 80 to 85% of education agents will not charge the student, will not charge you a penny at all, because they get a part of your student fee, of your tuition fee, which is called quote unquote commission, from the university that they send you to. So education agents have formal partnerships with different universities in different countries, and let's say an education agent sends me to, because I'm in Adelaide, I'll say Adelaide University, and if they have a formal partnership, and even if they don't have a formal partnership, they process my application, they process my visa, they process everything. That means that they've sent Anshul Sethi to Adelaide University. So Adelaide University will give that particular agent a commission for sending me to their university. So that's a part of my tuition fees that will go to the education agent. Now, for me, it doesn't cost me anything because I was meant to give that tuition fee any which way. A person who engages an education agent and a person who doesn't engage an education agent, there's no difference in between their tuition fee. So that's the thing when I mentioned that it's a win-win situation for both parties, the education agent and the student, because it doesn't cost the student anything and the education agent earns through the university. But again, it's a win-win for both parties only if you have a backbone of yourself, and only if you do enough sufficient research, sort of have that conversation with the education agent that no, I don't think that particular university is good for me, I think that particular university is better for me, etc, etc, etc. Because education agents will want you to go to a university that gives them the highest commission so that they can get paid more, obviously. So that is where your research comes in. That is where you need to have a backbone. You need to take a stand for yourself and say, no, I do not want to go to X university. I want to go to Y university because their curriculum is actually better. That is how education agents work. But going back to on how education agents really work and what do, they do everything from listening to you, knowing more about what you want to do, which city you want to go to, what occupation you want to study in, what are your priorities, is PR a priority or not, do you want to come back, and what your goals are. They take all of that in, then they send you different university links, different course links to see whether you like the curriculum or not. And it's a very back and forth, right? You can say that, I don't like that occupation, I don't like that curriculum, I don't think I'll be able to get a PR, etc., etc., etc. Then you go back to them, finalize on different universities, different courses, and then they will apply for the university for that particular course for you. So if you were individually to apply for a university for a course, you will be filling the form in a different way. When an agent does that for you, they will be doing it in a different way. That is basically an identification of an agent filling the form, filling or applying for the university on your behalf. And I'm not saying the way to fill the form, it's just that a couple of options will be ticked where it'll be on paper that you're engaging XYZ education agent to apply for that particular university, to apply for that particular course on your behalf. With that done, they apply for you for different universities. In about a couple of weeks time, you hear back from that university, and then you and your education agent finally sit down to see what your financials look like, what your other documents look like. They gather all the ITR documents. This is particularly for India. They gather all the ITR documents from your parents. They sit down with your parents as well to answer any and all questions around safety, around financials, and then side by side tell you to prep for English language tests, be that PTE, be that IELTS, be that whatever. So all of this is working together, right? And then now up-to-date knowledge is there's a genuine student entry test as well. They tell you, they communicate everything to you. So the first email for anything and everything will come to the agent, and then it'll come to you if you're engaging an education agent, which is good, which is, it's not a disadvantage at all. Once everything is done, then they'll apply for the student visa for you as well. And again, the way a person individually applies for a student visa is different from a way an education agent applies for the student visa, because again, a couple of options are to be ticked, just so that the government also knows that this particular student, particular individual has engaged an education agent. With all of that done, your student visa comes, you book tickets, and then you fly to Australia. Once you pay your fees, once everything is done, the university pays the commission to the agent, and that is how they get paid. Again, as I said, 80 to 85% of education agents will not charge you a single penny. But most probably, if you go to a niche education agent, a smaller education agent, they might charge you for the whole process as well. And that can be anything from around 15 to 25,000 rupees. This is so that's the whole idea around education agents. Now, why is it important to engage an education agent? One, it just saves you the hassle of looking for different universities, looking for different courses, doing all of your research. It's better off let them do the initial research, let them send you the initial courses and universities and cities and everything, and then you decide and you do your own research after a credible amount of work has already been done. I think that is a really value adding point, particularly for me. Second, I do not have to go through the hassle of filling different documents, applying for different universities. Whatever they will need, they will ask me and I will send them, and then they'll apply on my behalf. Everything, all communications, be that email, phone call, whatever, they're handling that, they're on top of that, because at the end of the day, only if they get me to Australia or whichever country, they'll earn that commission. Then they apply for my student visa as well. They give me tips through different stages. And a very important thing, they can connect me to other people that they're helping who might be going to the same city, to the same country with me. So I can start building connections and start making friends from the start. Another thing that they can do is that they can connect me to the alumni. So I have access to people, or have access to talk to people who are already there, maybe doing the same course in the same city, in the same country. So those are all of the value adding points of why I feel engaging an education agent is probably better, because it's a win-win if you have a backbone and if you can stand up for yourself. Again, if you do not have an education agent, let me know. I can recommend you mine. She's really good. So just reach out to me either on Instagram, LinkedIn, on YouTube comments, and I'll send you their details and we can go from there. I hope this video added a lot of value. Like, share, subscribe. It really motivates me when numbers are growing up, and that also means that the value that is being added is going up. So yeah, if everything is good, I'll see you in the next one.